What just happened to the mega fight that had the entire boxing world buzzing? Why did this dream matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence "Bud" Crawford suddenly fall apart, and what does it mean for the fighters involved? Fans were eagerly awaiting the highly anticipated showdown, but now it has officially been called off. After months of negotiations, planning, and growing excitement, it appears the fight will not be happening. But what really went wrong? The fight was set to take place at the massive Raiders Stadium, with reports indicating that both fighters had reached an agreement. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, yet seemingly out of nowhere, the fight was scrapped. Crawford had been prepared to move up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo at 168 pounds, making it one of the most ambitious bouts in recent boxing history. However, despite all the effort and anticipation, Canelo ultimately decided not to go through with the fight. The primary reason: the money wasn't right. Canelo has always been clear about one thing: he fights for the right price. He has no firm loyalty to any particular organization, whether it be PBC, Turki Al-Sheikh, or any other major promoters. His philosophy is simple: pay him what he believes he deserves, and he will fight whoever is put in front of him. This time, though, the numbers didn't add up to his liking, and the fight was abandoned. For a while, it truly seemed like this dream fight was about to happen. Various reports claimed that both fighters had given their word to face each other, but there was always a lingering doubt about Canelo's willingness to go through with it. Some skeptics questioned whether he ever seriously considered taking on Crawford, given the potential risks involved. Caleb Plant, a former opponent of Canelo, weighed in on the situation, giving respect to both fighters. He acknowledged that Canelo has already established his legacy, proving himself by defeating top-tier competition across multiple divisions. Having faced Canelo in 2021, Plant knows firsthand just how dangerous he is inside the ring. At the same time, he praised Crawford for his willingness to challenge one of the best fighters in the world. Moving up in weight to face a physically larger, stronger opponent is not a decision most fighters would make lightly. While the fight is no longer happening, Plant emphasized that both men have done enough in their careers to earn the respect of the boxing community. Crawford is a rare talent, capable of fighting from multiple stances and at different ranges, making him one of the most adaptable boxers of this generation. Plant noted that fans were excited about the mystery surrounding the fight. How would Crawford handle the size difference? How would Canelo deal with Crawford's movement and precision? Despite the immense intrigue, Canelo never appeared entirely committed to facing Crawford. One major reason was the lack of a substantial reward. While Crawford is undoubtedly an elite boxer, he is also a smaller fighter compared to Canelo. If Canelo won, critics might dismiss the victory, saying he merely defeated a smaller opponent. If he lost, it would significantly impact his legacy. These factors contributed to Canelo's reluctance to move forward with the fight. Another crucial issue was the financial aspect. Although the fight would have generated significant interest among boxing fans, Canelo did not believe it would bring in the kind of money he was looking for. He wanted a blockbuster event that would justify the risk. Even when influential figures like Turki Al-Sheikh attempted to sweeten the deal with a massive financial offer, Canelo remained unconvinced. Crawford himself has spoken about the potential fight, stating that it would have been a true test of skill and strategy. He acknowledged Canelo's strengths and the unique challenge of facing such a seasoned opponent. However, despite his willingness to take on the fight, it was ultimately out of his hands. With Canelo unwilling to proceed, the bout was officially scrapped. Frank Warren, a key promoter in the boxing world, was also involved in discussions surrounding the fight. He saw the matchup as a potentially historic moment in boxing, bringing together two pound-for-pound greats in a high-stakes showdown. Unfortunately, those discussions led nowhere, and the fight is now off the table. So what happens next for Terence Crawford? If he still wants to face Canelo, he might have to take a different approach. Some experts have suggested that he should move up gradually, fighting at 160 pounds first before making his way to 168 pounds. This would give him time to adjust to the weight and prove that he can compete at a higher level. However, time is not on Crawford's side. As he gets older, the opportunity to take on massive fights is becoming increasingly limited. Retirement is another option for Crawford, but many believe that would be an unsatisfying way to end his career. He is simply too talented to walk away without one last defining fight. Throughout his career, Crawford has never truly faced an opponent who pushed him to his limits. Even in his toughest fights, he has always appeared to be in control. Because of this, some believe he is still searching for a challenge that will truly test him before he hangs up his gloves. Instead of facing Crawford, Canelo is now in talks to fight Jake Paul. This bout is expected to take place on May 3 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, with Netflix handling the streaming rights. The news has left many boxing fans shocked and confused. They were expecting Canelo to face a world-class opponent, not a YouTuber-turned-boxer. For years, Jake Paul has been calling out Canelo, claiming that he has the skills to defeat him. Most fans never took these claims seriously. However, as reports of a massive payday surfaced, Canelo seems to be reconsidering. The financial offer appears to be significantly higher than what he would have made fighting Crawford, making it a much more attractive option. Many within the boxing community have criticized this potential fight, dismissing it as nothing more than a cash grab. Canelo has built a reputation for facing the best in the sport, so taking on a social media influencer seems out of character. However, those close to Canelo argue that at this stage of his career, he has already achieved everything there is to accomplish. He has won multiple world titles and secured his place in boxing history. Now, his focus is on maximizing his earnings. Eddie Hearn, one of boxing's top promoters, has explained that Canelo is very straightforward when it comes to making fights. If the money is right, he will take the fight, no complications. Hearn emphasized that Canelo is not concerned about public opinion. He has already cemented his legacy, and now it's all about securing the most lucrative deals possible. The fight with Jake Paul is expected to take place at cruiserweight, a division that allows fighters up to 200 pounds. This is significantly heavier than Crawford's weight class, further highlighting why Canelo may have preferred this fight over the one with Crawford. The news has sparked intense debate within the boxing world. Some believe Canelo is tarnishing his legacy by fighting Paul, while others argue that he has earned the right to take whatever fights he wants. Ultimately, the cancellation of Canelo vs Crawford is a disappointment for boxing purists. The fight had the potential to be a classic, pitting two of the sport's best against each other. However, as is often the case in boxing, money talks. With Canelo opting for the more financially rewarding option, fans are left wondering what could have been. Will Crawford find another high-profile opponent? Will Canelo's decision to fight Jake Paul damage his reputation? Only time will tell. The highly anticipated boxing match between Canelo Alvarez and Terence "Bud" Crawford has officially been called off, leaving fans disappointed and wondering what went wrong. The fight was expected to be one of the biggest in recent history, generating excitement across the boxing world. However, despite months of negotiations and speculation, it will not be happening. So, why did this dream matchup fall apart, and what does it mean for both fighters moving forward? The fight was originally planned to take place at Raiders Stadium, with both fighters reportedly agreeing to terms. Crawford was ready to make a major leap in weight, moving up 2 divisions to 168 pounds to challenge Canelo. The move was seen as incredibly ambitious, as it would have been one of the most significant weight jumps in modern boxing. Yet, despite Crawford's willingness to take the risk, Canelo ultimately decided not to go through with the fight. The primary reason the financial terms were not right for him. Canelo has always been clear about his priorities. He fights for the right price. He is not tied to any particular promoter or organization, whether it be PBC, Turki Al-Sheikh, or any other major player in the boxing industry. His philosophy is simple: pay him what he believes he deserves, and he will take on any challenge. This time, however, the numbers did not meet his expectations, and he walked away from the fight. For a while, it seemed like this matchup was becoming a reality. Reports suggested that both fighters had verbally committed, but there were always doubts about whether Canelo would actually take on the challenge. Some critics questioned if he ever had real intentions of facing Crawford, considering the risks involved. Crawford, an undefeated champion, is known for his adaptability, technical skills, and ability to fight from multiple stances. Taking on an opponent like him would be no easy task. Former Canelo opponent Caleb Plant weighed in on the situation, showing respect for both fighters. He acknowledged that Canelo has already secured his legacy, having defeated top-tier competitors in multiple weight classes. Having fought Canelo himself in 2021, Plant understands how dangerous he is in the ring. At the same time, he praised Crawford for his boldness in challenging one of the best boxers in the world. Moving up to fight a naturally bigger, stronger opponent is a significant challenge, and not many fighters would take that risk. Even though the fight is not happening, Plant emphasized that both men have done enough in their careers to be respected. Crawford's ability to adjust his style depending on his opponent has made him one of the most skilled boxers of this era. Fans were eager to see how he would handle the size difference against Canelo and how Canelo would respond to his speed and precision. Ultimately, it seemed that Canelo never fully committed to fighting Crawford. One of the major reasons was the lack of a substantial reward. While Crawford is an elite fighter, he is significantly smaller than Canelo. If Canelo won, critics might downplay the victory, saying he simply defeated a smaller opponent. If he lost, it would damage his legacy. These risks made the fight less appealing for him. Another major issue was the financial aspect. Although the fight would have generated a lot of interest among hardcore boxing fans, Canelo did not believe it would bring in the kind of money he wanted. He wanted a blockbuster event that justified the risk. Even when influential figures like Turki Al-Sheikh reportedly offered a massive financial package, Canelo remained unconvinced. Crawford himself has addressed the situation, expressing his disappointment but also acknowledging that he cannot force the fight to happen. He believed the matchup would have been a great test of skill and strategy. However, with Canelo unwilling to proceed, Crawford must now look for other opportunities. Some boxing analysts suggest that if Crawford still wants to fight Canelo, he should move up gradually, taking a fight at 160 pounds before stepping up to 168 pounds. This would allow him to adjust to the weight and prove that he can compete at a higher division. However, time is not on his side. As he gets older, his opportunities to secure a massive fight are becoming more limited. Retirement is also an option for Crawford, but many believe he still has unfinished business in boxing. Throughout his career, he has never faced an opponent who truly pushed him to his limits. Even in his toughest fights, he has always remained in control. Because of this, some believe he is still searching for a defining moment before he walks away from the sport. Meanwhile, Canelo is now reportedly in discussions to fight Jake Paul, a social media influencer turned boxer. The fight is expected to take place on May 3 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, with Netflix securing the streaming rights. This development has shocked many boxing fans who were expecting Canelo to take on a more legitimate opponent. Jake Paul has been calling out Canelo for years, claiming that he has the skills to defeat him. Most fans never took these claims seriously. However, with reports of a massive payday involved, Canelo appears to be reconsidering. The financial offer for fighting Jake Paul is said to be significantly higher than what he would have made against Crawford, making it a much more attractive option. Many within the boxing community have criticized this potential fight, calling it a cash grab. Canelo has built a reputation for taking on the best in the sport, so facing a YouTuber-turned-boxer seems like a step backward. However, those close to Canelo argue that at this stage of his career, he has already accomplished everything he set out to do. He has won multiple world titles and cemented his legacy. Now, his focus is on maximizing his earnings before he retires. Eddie Hearn, a well-known boxing promoter, has explained that Canelo is very straightforward about his business. If the money is right, he takes the fight, simple as that. Hearn emphasized that Canelo is not concerned about public opinion. He has already proven himself and is now making financial decisions that benefit him. The potential fight with Jake Paul would take place at cruiserweight, a division that allows fighters up to 200 pounds. This is significantly heavier than Crawford's division, further explaining why Canelo might prefer this matchup. The boxing world remains divided on this news. Some believe Canelo is damaging his reputation by entertaining a fight with Paul, while others argue that he has earned the right to take whatever fights he wants. In the end, the cancellation of Canelo vs Crawford is a disappointment for true boxing fans. The fight had the potential to be an all-time great matchup, bringing together two of the best fighters in the sport. However, as often happens in boxing, business interests took priority. With Canelo choosing the more financially rewarding option, fans are left to wonder what could have been. Will Crawford find another high-profile opponent? Will Canelo's decision to fight Jake Paul hurt his legacy? Only time will tell.